All right, today we're going to tackle a massive idea, one that could totally change how you look at the economy, your job, and really the whole point of why companies even exist. We're diving into a radical new way of thinking about the purpose of a corporation based on some really powerful work by thinkers like Tilman Bauer. This is a big one, so let's get right into it. So, for the last 50 years or so, this one idea from the economist Milton Friedman has basically been the law of the land in business. It's super simple and direct. The only job of a business is to make money for its owners. This has been the story, the grand narrative of modern capitalism. But what if that's all it is? Just a story? Exactly. Hold that thought because we're about to put it right under the microscope. What if the whole foundation of our economy is built on, well, a misunderstanding? What if it's all just a myth? Okay, let's unpack this thing. First off, and this is really important, nobody is saying profits are bad. Of course they're not. Profits are essential. They're like oxygen for a person. You need them to survive. But as the brilliant management guru Peter Drucker once said, you'd never say the purpose of life is just to breathe, right? That would be missing the entire point. Well, it's the exact same thing with business. Confusing the means of survival, profit, with the ultimate purpose is a huge, huge mistake. And here's the really wild part. This idea that a company must maximize profit above all else, it's not really a law. It's not baked into our legal system. It's more like a piece of economic dogma that we've all just kind of accepted as fact. It's a powerful idea, for sure, but it is not an unchangeable law of the universe. So if the purpose isn't just about profit, then what is it? Well, to figure that out, we actually have to go back to the very beginning and look at the word at the heart of all this: business. What does that word really mean? This is probably what pops into your head, right? It's what we all think of. Companies buying and selling things, the world of trade. And yeah, that's the modern, everyday definition. But it turns out that's only one tiny piece of a much bigger puzzle. But get this, if you actually look it up in the Oxford English Dictionary, there are 22 different meanings for the word business. And just look at what they are: care, diligent effort, a person's duty, a serious purpose. These older, deeper meanings point to something so much bigger than just transactions and money. So here's the big takeaway. When you look at all those definitions from the old to the new, there is one common thread that ties them all together: purpose. At its very core, business is and always has been a purposeful activity, which of course leads to the next big question. What is that purpose? And here we are. This is the core argument, the big radical idea. The true purpose of all business, from a tiny food truck to a massive tech company, is to foster peace. Now wait a second, I know what you're thinking. Peace? How on earth can selling software or making furniture have anything to do with peace? To get this, we have to totally blow up our old definition of peace. We've been thinking about it in a really limited way. It's not just about the absence of war or conflict. No. It's something way more active and, honestly, way more meaningful. The easiest way to understand it is to split the idea in two. On one side, you have negative peace. That's what we usually mean, the absence of bad stuff, like violence and war. But on the other side, you have positive peace, and that's the active presence of good things. It's the ingredients that let a society actually thrive. We're talking about justice, health, opportunity, well-being. So this is what positive peace actually looks like. I mean, think about it. When a company creates good jobs, that's livelihood creation. When a business comes up with a new medical device, that's creating health and well-being. When it operates ethically and pays its taxes, that's supporting justice. See? This is what it means for business to contribute to peace. So how does a real company actually put this into action? Because this isn't just some high-level philosophy. There's a practical framework any organization can use to figure out its role in the world. And it's called the ladder of morality. It works pretty simply. The first rung on the ladder, the absolute bare minimum, is weak peace. Basically, do no harm. Don't cause violence. Don't bribe people. That's the baseline. Then you climb up to strong peace. This is where you start to actively do good things, making genuinely useful products, supporting human rights, building up your community. But the very top of the ladder is holistic peace. And this is a total mindset shift. It's about serving a purpose that's bigger than just your own company and understanding that we are all deeply interconnected. And listen, this isn't just some feel-good idea that you can't pin down. It can actually be measured with something called the Business Peace Index. It looks at a company's commitment across a few key areas. It asks real questions. Is this idea of peace actually written into your company's purpose? Are your products genuinely valuable and helpful to people? And does your leadership from the CEO down really walk the walk and champion this mission? It's a way to keep everyone honest. So that brings us all the way back around to a final question. But this one's not for some big corporation. It's for you. What would change for you tomorrow morning if you saw the purpose of your work, whether you're an artist, a coder, a plumber, or a CEO, not just as a way to make a living, but as your own personal direct contribution to building a more just, healthy, and peaceful world? It's a pretty powerful thought to sit with.